Happy 6 de Mayo, y'all. Shade Tree Joe. Hopefully y'all aren't too hungover after Cinco de Mayo celebrations, cervezas, coronas, margaritas, and so on and so forth. Today we're going to go ahead and start tearing out the engine in Kimmy's Jimmy. I got a lot to try and show you with this. Y'all that said, hey, you know, you're wasting your time, it's a boat anchor. I'll tell you what, you were right. Sometimes things don't work like you want them to. And I thought this was going to work out. I thought this was going to be something we could save, at least for the time being. That's not the case. So we'll rip out this motor, I'm sorry, this boat anchor, and then we'll go ahead and get ready to put the good 350 in. So that's where we're at. Stand by. Alrighty, here in just a few minutes, as soon as the wife gets home with my house keys, we're going to change things up. I finally went ahead and broke down and bought myself a external microphone, so when we do this stuff with the cell phone out here in the Oklahoma winds, you're not going to get all that wind noise. But for the time being, let me show you what what we've got going on with this chunk. Just to reinforce the fact that this motor is no freaking good whatsoever, I was getting ready to pull the intake manifold off so I could show you the carnage underneath. And of course, in order to do that with a small block Chevrolet, you've got to go ahead and pull the distributor out. Let me show you something. Okay, you see how the distributor's wiggling around there? That's just because the bottom half is, well, the top half of the distributor is broken loose from the body because it's frozen in the block. Yep, it's a piece of junk. You know what else is a piece of junk? This freaking rebuilt alternator that came with it. This guy right here set out the rain so damn long, it doesn't hardly want to turn at all. Yep, junk. So, okay. Pretty certain I've still got another alternator on the spare motor, so yay for that. But yeah, total garbage. While I'm waiting for her to get back with the house keys, there is the carburetor that's going on. This thing is almost virgin. Down on the floor over here is the Chinesium intake manifold. Definitely virgin, so there's that. The old calcified quadra-junk, that's no bueno anymore. The air cleaner, which probably would have done a little bit to try and save the motor if it had actually been sitting on top of the quadra-junk. I don't know that we're going to reuse that, but hey, whatever. And while I'm standing out here and the dog is mocking me, you know, this guy can go ahead and open and close the front door by himself, but damn if he can turn a deadbolt. Oh well. Okay, so tucked away here in the carport is the engine that I built for Ethel. It's a 60 over 350, only because it's been rebuilt a couple of times. It may not look like much now, but I've had everything sealed up on it. You can probably see the exhaust port covers, intake manifold sealed up as well. It's just been in here hanging out, and I've had ATF down in the cylinders this entire time, so it should not be locked up at all. And this thing is going to come on out and go into Kimmy's Jimmy. So no more taking up space here in the carport of storage. Well, somebody was spending time and effort on this at one point in time, because that distributor cap is brand new on the inside. I mean, 0 miles. Oh well. Of course, the rest of the distributor, if it had come out in one piece, is absolute garbage anyway. So there's that. All right, so here we are. We're going to try things a little bit different today. I went ahead and got a wireless body mic for my cell phone now. And so we're going to try things different. No more of this Oklahoma wind noise. Gosh bless, I love this place. But, you know, it's not exactly conducive to just going ahead and recording stuff with your cell phone. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of this now. It's a nice breezy day out. It's almost 90 degrees here in the shade, which is fine. And we're getting things moving on this motor. Well, no, we're not. We're getting this motor ready to move out. It's done. It's garbage. It is a chunk of metal that's going to end up getting recycled some damn where, but not here, not now, not today. The bitch of it is that because the motor's completely froze up, I can't turn the flywheel to go ahead and get to the torque converter bolts, which means the torque converter is going to come out with the motor. Fine, whatever, we'll deal with it. It's going to make a mess, but it's all going to come out. In the meanwhile, I've got to do a little bit of housekeeping. I've got to move the truck back. Oops, excuse me. Get off my face. I got to go ahead and move the truck back, take the hood off, get rid of all the scrap metal junk that's up in front of the truck so I have room to work. So I'm going to have to get my scrap metal trailer out. And when it's all done and over with, the chunk that's in the truck now is going to be the cherry on top of that pie. It's going to go ahead and all go to the scrap heap. So we'll take it up to Oklahoma City for recycling, but in the meanwhile, it is what it is. Stay tuned, folks.
I just figured something out, Beavis. What? This sucks. Yeah, it really sucks. This sucks more than anything that has ever sucked before.
All right, I'm not going to say there's misrepresentation that occurs on Craigslist, but I pulled the carburetor off this thing a while back and cleaned up the top of it just to go ahead and tape it up. And I never did look down inside the intake manifold, other than it was rusty. But see the acorns down in there? There was also a leaf over on this side. That shit does not get down in there if the carburetor is sitting on the intake manifold. So this thing sat around with the carburetor off the manifold for a long time. And the carburetor is probably sitting in like the bed of the truck or some shit, which is why it's all froze up. But that's how all the water got down inside. Not just because the carburetor was sitting there with the air cleaner off, but because the motor was sitting wide open. Yep, this thing's a heap. All right, so there we've got it. It's up on jack stands now under the front of the frame, and we are going to go ahead, drop the starter out, finish removing the engine mount bolts, and unbolt the transmission. Fuel pump's been removed, got it out the way, cut the fuel lines because fuck it, I don't care. Let's see here. Got all the rest of that stuff done at the back. All the wiring's disconnected, fuel or oil pressure switch, all that good stuff. So we're getting to that point. It's going to happen soon. Well, it's going to happen soon enough. I'm not rushing this. I'm really not. I will tell you that the motor that's going in this, when I last updated it, I had gone ahead and put a very small Edelbrock Performer TBI cam in it because I was messing around with a crossfire fuel injection from an 83 Corvette and needed something that was something sort of computer friendly. And so I went with that, and it ran so-so. Not because of the cam, not because of the computer, but the technology of the time just really wasn't that great. I had it running on a 90 Chevy truck computer that was modified to go ahead and work with the twin TBIs, but the twin TBIs were the biggest problem of all. So anyway, that being said, I've got a new cam coming, something that's less computer friendly, more carburetor friendly, and we'll go ahead and drop that in, get it broke in once we get everything else taken care of here. So time to crawl underneath and get dirty. All right, so here we are, and I've got half of the transmission bolts out. I still got to get up on top and get those guys up at the back, and we're good there. And here's a piece of nostalgia for you. You haven't seen one of those in a while.
The old pancake style frickin' pellet catalytic converter. Yay for that. Guess what's going to disappear? And at some point, this was for whatever reason, this is a two-piece speedometer cable, but that piece is left over because apparently they replaced part of it, so they just left it hanging. So I'm going to get rid of that while I'm at it. But overall, I mean, it's not a bad truck. I mean, the floors are pretty solid. Got a little bit of issue right in here, and right up in here. You know, it hasn't really gone into holes yet. Got some rocker work to do, things like that. But overall, it's not bad. It's it's a good solid truck for what I paid for it. Again, I didn't buy it for the motor, so I'm not exactly heartbroken over it. Annoyed slightly because it was built to be a little bit better than it actually is, and that's fine. I mean, as far as the motor went, you know, it's garbage. I mean, the motor's total garbage, and I get that. Again, it wasn't bought for the motor, so I just kind of had hopes that the motor might have been salvageable. Obviously not. Okay, two things to note here. Number one, I need to go ahead and invest in a freaking GoPro camera. Perfectly good opportunity to catch myself punching myself in the eye while removing the last transmission bell housing bolt. I tried it with the impact. I tried it with the other impact. I had a ratchet and a cheater pipe on there, and that's when it finally decided to break loose. And so this is going to be a shiner tomorrow. Yeah, hell, it'll be a shiner before the day's out. You know, they say hit it with your purse. Sometimes it hits back. Just saying. This is the filthy whore that gave me the black eye. All the other bolts came out reasonably well, but you know, there's always this one up on the top, in the back, where you need a shit ton of extensions to get to. Yeah. And so I had a little cheater pipe hanging out off the end of that handle, and I was torqued up on it pretty good. I knew something was going to break. I figured it was going to be one of the extensions. And no, the bolt broke loose, but when it did, I managed to go ahead and punch myself in the eye and give myself a left to the left. What a good time. Okay, at this point, all I've got left is that motor mount bolt and that motor mount bolt down there. That guy. Once those two are out, they're already loose, but once they're out and I remove the hood, that pile of junk is coming out and probably going to end up over here on the shit trailer going to recycle. Alright, so there we have it. Both motor mount bolts are out now, and the motor is literally just resting in the mount saddles down there. Like that guy right there. That guy right there. Did manage to punch myself in the eye again, so we're good with that. I need to go get my favorite paint marker so I can mark the location of those hood hinges, make my life a little bit easier next time around. And then I'm going to go ahead and let this down off the jack stands, push it back a little bit, go get the tractor, and lift off the hood and lift out the motor. Hallelujah, here comes the mess. And this, my friends, is how we very, very slowly, very carefully remove the hood all by ourselves using only the tractor. So it's there, it's in the air, and I'm fixing to go ahead and set it down out of the way. But yeah, that's how we do it. And here comes the next bit of fun. Plucking the motor out. Well, not motor, scrap metal. Plucking the scrap metal out. Alright, so there we are all chained up. I'm fixing to go ahead and get on the hydraulics and see if we can't walk this thing out. Hey, there we are, coming up. Let's, there we go. All right, we're under tension. We got that one up out of the saddle. The other side is up out of the saddle. I still got a little bit more to go. Dipstick tube's probably going to be a victim of this thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See if we can't go ahead and salvage that. Actually, it doesn't matter because the other one's got one in it anyway. Screw it. Well, folks, you can see it's trying to come up and out. We're under tension. I got to check the backside, make sure the transmission is loose. We're pretty darn close in reality. So I got a feeling once that pops loose on the back end, we'll probably be in business. Okay, so the transmission's loose. Not an issue there. I'm going to set this back down and reposition the chain at the front so the back of the motor can drop a little bit more so the flywheel won't drag on the bell housing coming out, at least not so much. Flex plate anyway. So let me go ahead and do that and we'll do this one more time. Alright, here we go up under tension again. Stand by. Hey now, that's looking good. I gotta get in the tractor and keep it from rolling forward. Like I said, I've got an engine crane for doing this, but that means dragging the engine crane out, and if I can avoid that today, I think I will. Come on up, baby. You know you wanna. You know you wanna. Up ahead. Up ahead. Ooh, baby. Baby. Where the heck's not getting? Where the heck's Is he crazy? Let's make it back up and good and free. Or we're going to have to set the brake on something. It just wants to come right along with me. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's see if we can go forward just a little bit. Drop just a bit. Now, we can curl that. I missed it. That was the oh shit moment where the back of the tractor started to come up off the ground. Damn it, man. Looks like my tractor is a little bit low on pneumatic fluid. Alright, just had a bit of success getting everything loose here. I went ahead and set the motor back down in the mounts one more time, backed the tractor up a couple of feet, and repositioned, and now all of a sudden it's ready to come out. So, let the games begin. See if I can do this without smashing everything up. And how about that for awesome? The dipstick tube is going to self-clearance. So I got that out the way coming pretty quick. Might give it a little bit of help. But yeah, problem getting solved. And I think I'm going to move that chain back to the middle. Okay, as you can see, all the wiring is clear. And the torque converter is coming out with the flywheel. I mean, this thing's a mess. But it's going to come out and we should be in pretty good shape. So once this comes up and out, we'll get back underway and I'll set this thing on the ground, see if we can't figure out just how much garbage is left, because I still want to pull the intake manifold off, even if I've got to go ahead and do it with the tractor and cut the distributor in half. I don't know, I don't care, but I want to take a look inside just because morbid curiosity. I will say I've gotten spoiled at work using a forklift to do everything, because you know, I can go ahead and slide a forklift, forks left and right. Can't quite do that with this, but here we go. Put up a little bit.
Hold on, air conditioning line. Let me move that before I break it. There we go. There's that hunk coming up and out. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at those ports. Look at that nastiness. This thing just sat and collected water year after year after year. What a piece of shit. Although you can see that nice vinegar doing its thing there in that cylinder. Yay. Everything else is garbage, but hey, can't say we haven't tried. And there it is, motor on a chunk on a chain. Ain't no motor, just a chunk. Coming backwards. Well, let me get in reverse here. We'll walk this thing back. Okay. Coming back slow. Coming back real slow. So put some POS on the ground. Hopefully do an autopsy on it. Alright, set it down. I got an oil pan full of salad dressing too. Yay! Sounds like a little diesel oil and vinegar to make the day go by. Well, it's a bleeder. It's bleeding out quite nicely. And, you know, the sad thing is they had antifreeze in it. I mean, you know, it wasn't like a complete total waste, but it was a waste nonetheless. Let's see. We'll be doing a new front seal on the transmission just simply because yanking it like we did, I don't expect that did much of a favor for that. Normally I would have taken the exhaust manifolds off, but it's going to be a whole lot easier to take those stupid things off. I know if you've ever messed with these bolts, you know they break, they're a pain in the ass. They never want to cooperate. So I figure it's just easier to go ahead and bolt them from the heads. At some point there's going to be headers in here anyway, but for now we're good. And I'm going to clean out this engine compartment. You know, for all the work that was allegedly done on this thing, and granted, yeah, it's set with rodents doing their fair share of work on it too, but I would have expected a lot better. So anyway, that being said, we're going to go ahead and see if we can take the top of this motor apart, and I'll show you just what kind of carnage is inside, and then it's going on the shit pile. There's how we like to party. When in doubt, take your distributor apart with a big hammer and a frickin' pickle fork. Now the intake manifold's going to come off, and now we're going to see what the hell it looks like inside. Okay, so I got the torque converter unbolted off this dung heap, and I went ahead and got all but one of the intake manifold bolts, because why? Fucktard that put it together went ahead and used the little bitty 12-point pain in the ass motherfuckers. That thing just sat there rusting away and rusting away and rusting away. So now there's nothing to go ahead and grab hold of. I'm not done with this bullshit. Fuck it one more time. I'm going to whip out the impact gun and the heads are going to come off along with that intake manifold. To hell with it. Alright, y'all are going to get to see this before I do. I went ahead and I unbolted the cylinder heads. No, I didn't use the proper torque sequence. I know I'm not ever going to be able to get that block back in use without line honing it. So, you know, whatever. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and see if we can't rip the intake manifold heads off all at the same damn time. Because fuck you, that's why. In the neck. This is what absolute garbage looks like. 100% trash.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I can save those lifters. I'll use those on the new camshaft. They'll work out great. I will say that the vinegar was sort of kind of working. Of course, if it hadn't been for so many years of rust and water getting into everything, it might have actually worked. Oh well. And there's the other head. Look at that nasty, nasty, nastiness. Oh my goodness. What a hunk of junk. There we go. Yeah, I had one valve that wasn't quite closing. That's probably what caused the misfire. Oh well. Yeah, of course, I think my bigger issue might have been all that scale and crap inside the engine block. Because, the lifter valley's full of garbage. But hey, we can save it. Not. All right, so there we are. The motor is out. The transmission is supported. And we are calling it a day. The truck's back up on solid ground. Admittedly, when I brought the truck home, I did have some glimmer of hope, or at least an internal hope that I'd be able to go ahead and save the motor. And I had no idea what shape it was in internally. I mean, it was just a best guess. And I thought, well, it's possible I could save it. In reality, it was just a junk 350, old school 010 block, probably 4-bolt main 350. You can't swing a dead cat by the tail and not hit a small block Chevrolet. So saving it and trying to send it off to machine shop and salvaging it, absolutely not worth the effort. Not worth the money. You can go on Marketplace or Craigslist, whatever, and get running 350s for under $1,000. So, am I upset? No. Did I believe that the thing would go ahead and run with a little bit of work? Well, I kind of hoped. I don't know, you'd call it believed, but I definitely had a little bit of hope to it. I'll admit it. It would have been nice. Didn't work out. Sometimes shit happens. They can't all be winners. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I got tools put away. I got storms coming in tonight. Oh my gosh. The truck's going to sit out in the rain with the hood off. Oh, wait, there's no motor. Never mind. Y'all have a good afternoon. We'll see you. Shade Tree Joe, that's going to do it for this week. I've got cleaning to do on that engine bay before I do anything else. And I've got parts coming in for the other 350. So once the engine bay is ready, that motor can drop right in and we'll be in great shape. And hopefully this thing will move under its own power. Fingers crossed. We'll see you.